First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannin.
All right, are you ready for ACL? I can't hear you. Are you ready for ACL? All right, let's do it. ACL Weekend One starts tomorrow. So we thought we would dig into, first of all, what the forecast looks like for ACL. I'm terrible at drums, by the way. Believe me, my dad can play, but I cannot. But let's dive into what we can expect here for ACL Weekend One. Sunshine, scattered clouds for your Friday. A low 10% rain chance here in the afternoon and into the early evening. For the most part, it's just going to provide some puffy clouds to give you a little bit of shade out there. Saturday, mostly sunny. 94, those rain chances down near zero. And then for Sunday, sun, scattered clouds, rain chances up slightly, but we still think there'll be less than a 10% rain chance. All right, goodbye drums. Let's dive into the history of weather on ACL. Let's talk about last year. We had no rain both weekends. It was mostly sunny both weekends. The highs for weekend one, 94, 94, 94. The highs on weekend two were actually hotter. Usually weekend one is hotter. But weekend two, 94, 98, and 101. That 101 that we had for the Sunday of the final weekend of ACL last year was actually the second hottest ACL high temperature ever recorded. It was also our latest triple-digit day in Austin area history. What is normal for ACL? Well, our average high, 88.5 degrees. The hottest ever was back in 2005. We had a high of 107. The coldest high during ACL was 65 degrees. Wouldn't that be nice? Back in 2019. The driest ACL, well, on 16 separate weekends, we've had no rain at all, and maybe we'll get through this weekend without any measurable rain either. The wettest ACL ever was in 2013, where weekend two had more than 6 inches of rain. On KXAN.com, our digital data reporter Christopher Adams dove into the weather extremes associated with ACL. He's got all of that information on KXAN.com under the weather and traffic tab. And we've moved our Austonian weather camera to point toward Zilker Park as they're in last-minute preps mode there, getting all the stages ready for tomorrow and the first weekend of the two-weekend festival, of course. What's happening out there now? Well, it's another pretty quiet day here in Central Texas, mostly sunny, few puffy afternoon clouds. There's been a subtle change to the forecast tomorrow, though, to add those mini rain chances. That's because you can see some of the moisture here in the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico and into Louisiana. This is trying to drift westward, and there's been some renewed signs over the last 24 hours or so. Models picking up that we do think at least some of these showers may make it as far west as, say, I-35 or so here tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Tonight, all dry. And in fact, as the sun sets, the clouds disappear, and then we go clear overnight. What about your Friday morning? I think other than some patches of low clouds, it should be another pretty sunny beginning to the day and still mostly sunny at noon. Here's where we'll be watching radar closely. 2 o'clock through about 7 p.m. is the window for a spotty shower or two. I think our eastern counties have a higher chance of rain. It just may be that 1 or 2 showers, though, make it into the metro early to mid-evening before drier weather takes over at 7. There's even a tiny thunderstorm chance, but we're more likely to have a shower than a thunderstorm, and then we're back to dry here for Friday. What about Saturday? I expect a lot of sun here Saturday. No rain chances here for the metro and our eastern counties, a less than 10% rain chance for the hill country here on Saturday. So your forecast tonight, mainly clear, but some patches of low clouds by daybreak, overnight lows of 68. There's your Friday, 95. There's that tiny 10% rain chance. Otherwise, it's sun, scattered clouds. Of course, plenty of heat. The humidity actually a little up tomorrow compared to today. Temperatures as a whole, though, will start trending down, but only because the humidity comes up a bit. However, there's going to be a weak cold front Wednesday into Thursday that may actually provide a subtle drop in temperatures once it moves through. We don't anticipate decent rain chances or anything like that, or even a sharp temperature drop, but a subtle change there. In the meantime, over the next several days, we'll go from muggy to humid, with the higher humidity being reserved more for the morning. There are those tiny rain chances for your Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then that weak front comes through to dry us out so that by Thursday the rain chances are gone. Here's a look at our First Warning Weather 7-day forecast, and you can see plenty of heat to be had as we head through the next 7 days here in October. Remember, Average highs over the next week should be around 86 or 87. And we've got no 80s even in the forecast. Overnight lows, though, mainly in the 60s, but early next week we start to see some overnights not actually getting out of the 70s. Of course, the latest weather information. If you're heading to ACL, download that KXAN weather app to keep an eye on those tiny shower chances.